Alright, in this video, I'm going to show you a trick that I use to help me build up colonies and also to give bees space without actually giving them too much space too early. So what I do is I use these foam sheets, and this is one where the bees have moved up on. It's a medium, I just try to, build up a nuke or whatever. And what they'll do is they'll fill this whole thing out. They'll draw out all the comb and everything before they move up, okay? I usually just, maybe I might put a hole in the middle, and I'll definitely put a hole right here. The first layer I'm not going to put right, I'm not going to cut this. But after I take off this one, which this one at this point could be taken off. Sometimes I do like to make, cut the front wall, cut a little seam here, little space here in the front wall so the bees can go up. But anyways, so what happens is that, they work through this one. And I now pretend I have a box on here. Let's just pretend I have another box on here with comb that they need to draw. But the trick is, you maybe want to have the two, if you have a laying queen, because these ones just raised a queen based upon the queen cell I see in there. If you have a laying queen, then you are going to want to go ahead and make, make the middle two that they're somewhat drawn out, and then the bees are gonna, you can put the empties over here and over here. They'll kind of move up when they fill up that box, and you won't even have to know when it is. If you have a sensor in there, look at that, like I do. You have a temperature sensor in there. When it hits 90, they've moved up. When it's 95, they're drawing fresh comb. When it hits 93, 95 to 93, the queen's laying in there. And then if it's like 80 or 70, then you got honey. That's how I know. So that's my secret. So what I'll do is, now I'll go put this one. This is probably going to be my second layer. I haven't looked at it, but whichever one's the second layer. It's like I melted this. It's okay. See how they've already started thinning it out? Because they're getting ready to move up. Well, they were before I fooled with it. But I'll leave that little front end, maybe a little bit of it gapped. You don't have to. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. It just depends. Sometimes I don't. But anyways, sometimes that's all I do is just like this. And these holes are really big. They probably started out like just a little slit. They were just a little slit. But the bees have gone and spaced it out. If they want space there, they'll make it. If they don't, what they'll do is they'll propolize this to the frames. And that's okay. That's all right. But you could probably stack 6 boxes and put these foam sheets in between them. Each level with a, with a little slit there so that they can patrol it. And maybe on the top boxes that they're not occupying, don't put drawn comb. You can come back later and do that if you want. But you'll find that the bees will move up pretty fast at their own pace. And they'll fill out the one they have. And you don't have to panic and think to yourself, oh, they'll expand up when they're ready. They're not going to swarm. They're going to chew up that. They're going to chew this up first. If they get hot, they'll chew up through it. It just gives them a way to control the environment. So inside, I definitely think this is one of the best things I've done. Big hives or little ones. You take care. Have a great one.